Hi guys, John the Firearms Instructor, and welcome to our live from the range. It's Tuesday night live from the range. We're glad you're here. Looks like we got a pretty decent crowd already. We appreciate you being here. If you can for me, go ahead and comment below where you're from. If you're a new one, if you've been here before, we still want you to comment. Let us know how your day's going. We appreciate you spending time with us every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. If you don't know who I am, my name is John Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of Firearms Training Facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. We specialize in you. We specialize in first time shooters that need help and support to get themselves to the next level. We do a lot of different stuff. We do firearms training. We do try before you buy. We do a lot of different stuff. We take students from never touching a gun before to buying a bunch of them. So it's pretty good, pretty neat there that we're able to do that. And we appreciate you being here this evening. Little homework here today. We're going to talk a lot of stuff this afternoon, this evening. But one of the things we want to talk about is a 2A win that we had. I don't know if you know much about the brace rule that came out a while back. Let me put up a little video I did. It came down on November 8th that they squashed the brace rule. If you don't know what the brace rule is, the ATF last year took any pistol caliber 9 millimeter 223 that had a brace on it, and a brace is not a stock. It was something that was considered a arm brace, and it make it legal for you to shoulder that unit without actually being a short barrel rifle. Short barrel rifle is a tax stamp situation. It's a thing you have to go through a lot of different stuff. And these Smith, Ruger, Taurus, they all made some kind of brand of pistol braced weapon. And the reason why most people did that pistol brace thing was you were able to get a shorter barrel to work around your home without physically having a 16-inch barrel. And the workaround was that brace. Well, many years ago, the ATF approved these braces and they were legal. And then last year, about January or February, they made a rule, which was not a law, it was a rule the ATF put together and said if you have a brace gun and you don't apply for a um, lenience or a tax stamp. They were giving free tax stamps away if you registered that gun. Well, in Florida, we don't have gun registration. So there was a mass non-compliance of people not registering a gun. But if you have a short barrel rifle and it was not a tax stamp attached to it, they were legally putting a bunch of people in a position where they may go to prison for this stuff. It's 10 years of prison and a hefty fine. Overnight, the ATF laid these rules out for us, and we had to take it. So there was a challenge in the court system in Texas, and a brace company, the GOA, which is a gun manufacturer, the FFA, I mean, the gun lobbyist, and a couple other places won a stay for them, but they didn't count for the rest of the United States. Well, on the 8th, the judge came down with his ruling, and his ruling basically said, and it states that although they are concerned, he feels the concern of the ATF about the mass shootings that happen in the world, but you have to physically do something legal, and this rule was not legal. So he kind of put it again. Basically, what he did, guys, is they cannot prosecute us for having a brace now. And it's just a pretty cool little deal there. We had an ATF win, which was pretty awesome. And we don't get those too many times. People are chasing guns and chasing braces and doing all that stuff. But the ATF rewritten the rule that said if a gun had a brace on it, it became a rifle, which they can't do that either. ATF they can make rules, they can't make laws, and this is kind of a win for us. So this is a clip of our video. You can go to our website and watch it. I have a full playlist of all the back videos in regards to the brace rules and stuff like that. But now most people had taken their brace off. You had three choices after January 1. You had 180 days to remove the brace, turn in the weapon, or destroy the weapon. Those were the three options for you if you didn't do um, the amnesty thing they have with the thing. So, but there was a lot of people non-compliant, and the judge came out and made this whole thing pretty much gone. So, if you have an opportunity, there's a full clip of that video for you. This is the thumbnail for it, as well as there is a full 9 page of the ruling that you can read yourself. So I just want to give you a win there. So we had a win. So let's give ourselves a little applause there and cheer. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So let's remove that from you. So I'm back. Here we go. So tonight we've got a great PowerPoint presentation about why you would like to add a 22 to your portfolio. And the 22 basically it is a good option. There's a lot of stuff, and we put 10 reasons why we think you should add a 22. And we're not just talking about rifle 22s or pistol 22s. We're talking either or both. That's up to you what you want to do. But there's 10 reasons we put together. Let's go to the comments here and see what we have. Looks like we've got a few people that have commented something. So let's pan over to those. All right, Natasha, welcome. Larry, welcome. Peter, yes, it was Pete. Pete saying that was actually designed for disabled veterans to be able to shoot. That is correct, sir. And then there's Pop Papa Grand. I did this last week from Naples. We appreciate you guys for being here as well. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and start this PowerPoint presentation. I will get right to this evening because it is Tuesday, and Tuesday means taco night. So Tuesday taco. So we're gonna get out of here as soon as we can and go enjoy some great tacos somewhere. That's what Pete says here. Yeah, true, my friend. But what about the 250,000 people who paid the $200 tax stamp each for $50 million in revenue for the ATF? Will it return? you know the question of that, my friend. It will not be returned. The only thing I would tell you, if you did pay, got your free, well, most of those are free tax stamps that they were doing at the time, Pete. But if you physically pay, a short barrel rifle is a short barrel rifle. What they're looking at mostly is the brace guns. If you have a barrel that's lower than the 16 inches and you want to put a stock on it, you're going to have to do the tax stamp still. There's no getting around the tax stamp because it is a short barrel rifle. But all these brace guns that have been sold by every manufacturer, Palm out of State and Smith and Wesson, and there's a lot of manufacturers out there that have these brace guns that are just sitting. A lot of gun stores have these things that overnight they were not illegal. We weren't allowed to bring them in. We weren't allowed to sell them. And they're they're they put us all in a bind at that point in time. So I appreciate that, Pete. Thank you very much. But you know the answer to that. All right, there we go. Well, thank you for commenting on that. So there's 10 reasons why you need a 22, and this is from us here. Let's see if I can get this opened up to a point where we can see it big and strong. There we go. And we'd like to thank Mr. Johnny Johnson for helping us with these PowerPoint presentations. He spends a few long days making these together, and we really appreciate that. I love you, son. Thank you very much. All right. First, Johnny asked me, "Well, Dad, what are we gonna say? I mean, where are the important parts of this thing? What is it?" And I kind of like I kind of put this in my order. Now, this is my order. It doesn't mean it's your order, and you may not even understand why a 22 would be important for you. But after this class and after this PowerPoint presentation, I think you may want to add one to your portfolio. So right off the bat, I would tell you the low recoil. Low recoil is one of those things that a lot of students, especially new students, have a real challenge controlling a high kick gun. Now, this is a clip from one of our YouTube videos, and it talked about how to manage muzzle flip. You'd like to check that out, you can. There's a lot of great information on there about how to control it. Look at that face I'm making on that video. John always makes me some of the greatest thumbnails, and it's got me making some funny faces there. So 22 long rifle doesn't kick like other calibers. This makes it more accessible for shooters of all ages and all skill levels. Now, I'm a big proponent of a 22, but I don't think it should be the first gun that most people, adults, I should say, most to shoot first. Because if you go into a range, this is a big misconception of most husbands and most boyfriends and most people that are letting their significant others shoot a gun is they're going to let them shoot a 22 first to get comfortable, and then they're going to put a 9 millimeter in their hand. And that is totally opposite is what you should do. Because if you shoot a 22 and I put any other caliber in your hand from a 25 caliber up, the 25 caliber, the 380, the 9 millimeter are all going to have significant recoil problems because you're trying to hold the 22 like you're going to try to hold a 9 millimeter. Now, we go through a whole thing with you guys when you come here to the range: grip, stance, trigger control, sight picture, side alignment. Ladies, you need to control the weapon with your wrist and your booty. You need to drive that gun out. Gentlemen, you need to use your pecs to control the weapon. We need to make sure we're holding on to the pistol and driving that gun towards the target, and then let the gun. So my problem with the 22 is I always think I don't need to hold it as much as I need to hold a 9 millimeter, 40 or 45 or something like that, or 357 or whatever you talk about. So psychologically, it doesn't kick that much. I don't want to hold it that much. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to do a 22 and let people shoot a 22, make sure they shoot something with a higher caliber first. As long as you think they can handle the recoil, let's just say that. You can't take a 7-year old, 8-year old, 9-year old and expect them to shoot a 45. Although yesterday or the day before, we had a young man in here. I don't think he was very young, but he was in his teens, like young teens, 11, 13, 14, and his dad had him shooting a 45 ACP, and he was just stacking them. So it's all about, once you figure out how to control the recoil, it becomes so. So the very first one, low recoil. Low recoil. The next one is plentiful and inexpensive ammo. 22 caliber, 22 LR is cheap. Around here, you can get 250 rounds of 22 LR for about the same cost of 100 rounds of 9 millimeter. 500 rounds for about the same cost as 100 rounds of 45 ACP. You're also very unlikely to walk into any gun store that doesn't have 22 in stock, except for last week here at the gun store. We ran out of our boxes and had about 5.5 hours with no 22. So I want to be honest, but most of the time we have plenty of 22 in stock for that. And it becomes so much easier. Think about the average person that comes to the range. Which would you rather do? Shoot 500 rounds of 9 millimeter, or let's shoot 50 rounds of 9 millimeter pretty proficiently, hitting where you're aiming, and then 100 rounds of 22, which would give you the same trigger engagement, give you everything else, but you're not getting the recoil management. That's probably a better solution for you than trying to shoot 300 rounds of 9 millimeter. You know the first 100 is going to be okay, and the rest of the time you're along for the ride. So there we go. Plentiful and inexpensive. Most likely you'll find it everywhere. All right, yeah, that's a good point. Higher capacity on average. 22 bullets are small, which means the gun you use, 22, will hold more rounds and comparably size of the firearm. So a lot of the 22s now, like Glock 43 and Taurus TX, those things hold. Glock holds 10. The Taurus holds 20. The Taurus holds 15 rounds, but there are actually uh, weapons that hold 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, there's a lot of higher capacity on average, higher capacity, which is kind of fun. All right. All right. Yeah, less noise. I mean, you know, I don't know if you'd be able to shoot a 22 inside your home without wearing earmuffs, but shooting a 223 or a 5.56 inside your home without wearing earmuffs. We talked about this in other lives we've done, where it's like putting off a flashbang inside your home when you shoot one of these things off, especially with no earmuffs and eyewear and all that stuff like that. And the flash of that 223, um, you know, you're going to be blinded by a lot of the flash of that gun going off and everything else like that. Due to the smaller amount of gunpowder used in 22, firing at 22 is usually quieter and than comparable calibers. I agree on that. That's a good option for you. Johnny put the synthesizer there, the noise thing. That was good. I appreciate that, sir. Less noise. You know what? I have shot 22 inside without earmuffs on. It's a little cracky. Remember, anything that shoots over 1,000 feet per second. And 22s are kind of an odd thing because they come in different grains as well as different capacities. Like you could get a hollow point 22, you could get a regular lead top 22, you could get copper top 22. They even make powderless 22s, which is called a calibre round. That calibre round would be very quiet, and that's more for varmints and rats and things like that. Makes it pretty easy. I used the 22 years ago when I was at the old gun range, gun store, and was able to take a powderless round and do the shot requirements for the conceal because it made very little noise. And we were doing these we come to you things, so we were going to people's houses. We are carrying a capture box with us and getting the shot requirement done at that point in time. And we used a lot of the key calibre rounds at that point in time. But yeah, less noise. That's a good one there. All right. Cheaper firearms. Yeah, yeah. So you take, well, let's just take the Glock 44 for instance. The Glock 44, and I'm going to show you a couple pistols at the end of this. We're just kind of working on our reasons why, and I'm going to show you a couple ideas and things like that. What I'd recommend you to add to your portfolio as we get going. But a cheaper firearm. So you take a Glock 19, okay? Glock 19's average somewhere between, if you go Gen 5, you're looking at the just over the 5 to about under 6, something like that. Let's say 5. You take that same gun in a 22, which is the Glock 44, you're under 400 bucks for that thing. And it's rock solid. Listen, I had a Glock 44 that we did our concealed carry classes with. We did a lot of the kids shooting with it. We did a lot of stuff. And I think that one we had, it was over a year and a half or 2 years old, and I just want to see how many rounds I could put through it, and we were almost full 2 years, and I don't think we cleaned it. I mean, I think Jacob may have put a few rounds. He may have cleaned it once in a while, but it wasn't something we cleaned every. And that thing ran like you would not believe, dirty, dirty. The only challenge with 22 semi-automatics is you got to have high velocity bullets. High velocity is anything over 1,260 feet per second. 22 comes in, like I said, it comes in the low velocity, which is 1,000 feet. And normally the bullet will kind of give you the indication of that because the bullet itself that shoots low profile or low feet per second would be a lead bullet, and then those calibres definitely are lead. But there's no powder in those. And then you get to the high velocity stuff, and the 22 box will say high velocity on there. When it talks about high velocity, it's 1260 or higher. But whether you're looking at rifles, whether you're looking at handguns, whether you're looking at revolvers, they're all going to be pretty economically cheaper because of the 22 uh, than buying a full size 9 millimeter, full size 38, or anything else like that. That's agreeable. So 22 are more widely accepted throughout the United States because most of the United States has some kind of capacity law. Now Florida doesn't, and a lot of the southern states don't have it. A lot of, but you get to California and you get to over there to New York, New Jersey, and all that stuff. They are going to have some kind of capacity law. And majority of the time, 22 is considered more widely acceptable. Um, um, in the US than anything else. Therefore, you're likely to run into issues carrying you won't run into an issue carrying a 22 pistol, especially for, blinking and things like that compared to a 9 millimeter 40 or 45. So it's more widely accepted. It's more widely available too. So that's a nice little feature there for us too. All right. So this is a little ballistic gel that Johnny put together, and I thought it was pretty cool. We kind of looked at it, and it's kind of give you the distance that a 22 bullet will travel into somebody or anything else like that. And these are two um, one's a Beretta Model 21 with a 2.4-inch barrel, and there's a Ruger Mark 5, Mark 4 with a 4.4-inch barrel. And both of these were traveling. One was 1,000 feet per second, and the other one was 1260. And these are ballistic gelatin. You know how that works. They can make it do any test you want to. But if you kind of pay attention, that's what the average person is going to be in a situation where you've got to get through shirt, maybe a t-shirt, maybe a jacket of some kind, and a lot of people have the term the feeling that a 22 won't do what won't do damage. It'll bounce off. I don't know how many people have ever heard talk about, well, a 22 is only going to bounce off and make someone mad. And it's kind of a funny thing. No one wants to get shot with anything, and no matter what it is, a 22 though doesn't have a lot of punch through power, but it doesn't have enough power to get out either. So it can actually be uh, bouncing around in the body and doing a lot more internal damage than you would not believe. Remember, Reagan was shot with a 22, and they had no idea. He didn't even know he was shot with a 22 until he started coughing and got in that situation. And that was during that attempted thing that he had going on there. But 22 will do this damage, guys. I can tell you, as a hog hunter, and I have dispatched a lot of wild hogs in my life, and everyone, almost all of them, if they weren't with an arrow, they were with a small caliber 22, from a feeder with a scope on it, and never had to chase any of them. So I could tell you, they will do the damage. Now, obviously, I'm not shoulder doing that. I'm working more into the ear of that, but it kind of gives you the ability. 22 will do what it needs to do. There's a lot of people in the world today that says 22 will just bounce off. It's not going to hurt anybody. Trust me, it will hurt you. It will cause you problems. Many people claim a 22 wouldn't actually work for self-defense. Now, I'm going to ask you this, and this is very important. I want you to look at your right hand that's got that 22 pistol in it, and then look at your left hand that doesn't have anything in it. Which one would you want? In if it's the only thing you had, you would definitely do the 22. Whenever we are hearing people say this, we cringe a little bit. Obviously, getting shot hurts, whether it's a 22 or a 50. Well, the 50 cal itself, you may not ever realize you were shot with a with a 50 cal, but the 22 definitely is going to do what it needs to do. And the mob used the 22. It was one of their special things they had, and it would do exactly what they needed it to do. So it still hurts, guys. All right, lightweight. Yeah, that's one. That take that Glock 44 again. That Glock 44 was very lightweight. You could put that in any. I think we use that a lot of times with the kid shootouts, and we let the kids try a 22 once in a while. And as they get a little older, we put that in their hand where a 9 millimeter is going to have a lot more barrel weight, a lot more rounds in the gun, a lot heavier. Remember, the lighter the gun doesn't mean the lighter the recoil. Lighter the gun means more recoil because there's less real estate and less weight. So we don't want a gun too light, but uh, lightweight is very important, especially when it comes to rifles and things like that, especially with kids, because we do the kid shootouts here all the time. We're using that little savage, savage little kids gun. They have the little short one, and that's very lightweight. So the next one we move them to is we've been moving them to the Rossi's, the semi L20, I think it's called, and that's a very lightweight gun, but it's big enough that they can grow up with it as well. Along with the lighter weight of ammo, many 22 LR firearms are lighter than their larger caliber components counterparts. Cool thing is a lot of the 22 rifle manufacturers make a 22 to match to their bigger caliber weapon. Like Savage is very, they make a 22 and you can match it up almost perfectly. Smith and Wesson makes their Smith and Wesson M&P 15 22 that matches pretty close to the Smith and Wesson Sport model. Mossberg makes their Plinksters that match up to their regular long rifles that are 270 or anything else like that. There's a lot of manufacturers that make guns that are 22 caliber and they keep going up, and it's the same gun. You have the same features, but just actually shooting a lighter piece. So you can actually take the kid and you get him comfortable shooting from prone or whichever position you plan to put him into, then build him up to the bigger caliber guns. The boys, when they were little, we were shooting 22 250s because it had enough knockdown power for deer if we needed to, but it wasn't a big bang or big caliber for them, and they were pretty accurate with it at that point in time without having too much recoil. Um, that 2250 is a flat shooting, really hot round, so it covers along very quickly. But but I had a bigger rifle. As they get bigger, they could do it as well. So it was kind of cool little thing there. All right, a lot of unique firearms that are available. Now there's the picture up top there of the Glock 44. There's the Smith and Wesson Compact. That's the Ruger. There's the Taurus. There are a couple different. Looks like the Ruger Max down. There's a lot of different ones that are available. The cool thing about the uniqueness of this is a lot of these, like the Glock and the Smith and the Taurus and a lot of those weapons, they have a big gun that matches up to them, which is a kind of a cool feature. Think about if you have the gun like the Glock 44, you shoot your Glock 19. The 22 is going to have the same features, the same hand wear, the same everything else like that. It's just going to have a lighter recoil, so it's going to give you the ability to have the best of both worlds. You're still going to get that Glock trigger. You're still going to get that ability to have the same feel, just don't have the recoil management that you would have in anything else. Um, so one of the things we want to talk about here is it's just not pistols, guys. You can add a 22 rifle to your portfolio, and I kind of always want to make sure that people understand why the 22 has been added. And I did a video a while back of the 5 weapons you need right now, and I got more kickback from people on talking about why the heck do you want a 22? And we get down to the point, and that seems silly because we live in this area here. But if you're living in somewhere you need to feed your family, you're not going to take a. It's going to be very hard to hunt squirrels or anything else with a pistol. Where a rifle, you could surely feed your family with it. And the cool thing about a lot of this stuff is I could take 2 handfuls of 22 to my put in my pocket and weighs almost next to nothing, and I could be very, very comfortable taking some small game and be, especially if we got into a situation where we were in a survival situation. You don't have refrigeration a lot of times, So to take out a big gun to take out like a 223 shooting a squirrel, there ain't no squirrel left. You understand? So you got to get your head around. You're going to want to feed your family. You're going to fill a pot. You can fill your pot with a 22 on a regular basis. Now, far to the right, there's kit here that looks like a bolt carrier group with the three magazines that are attached to it. This right here is a really cool little feature, and this is called a CMMG kit. Now we sell these at the store, and they are something that I'd highly recommend. If you have an AR-15 at your home, and you're saying to me, John, I have an AR-15. I would need a. You can actually remove your bolt carrier group from the AR-15, and you could put this bolt carrier group in, and now you have a 22. These magazines that you see here are going to be 15 rounds to 25 rounds, according to which kit you get, and you're going to get three magazines there. This bolt changes your AR platform weapon into a what we would consider a spring loaded gun at that point, because most of your ARs are gas impingements. Most of your 22s, the 22s on this screen here, the one dead center is a 1022. When they talk about you need to have a rifle, pistol, and a four-wheel drive, this is the rifle they were talking about. This 1022 is a semi-automatic. You can get a magazine up to 25 rounds, and it makes it pretty simple and easy. This is polymer frame weapon, very lightweight, very customizable, which is a kind of a cool feature. You do a lot of different kits and things like that. But this CMMG kit changes your whole world at that point because now you have an AR-15 that can shoot 223. It can shoot 5.56, as well as you can shoot 22 long rifle. And that's a kind of a cool feature there, because even if you come to the range and you have bought 223, uh, and your buddies are all shooting up all your rounds, you want to shoot your own 223 and let them shoot the 22. It's a lot easier, a lot simpler for you. Someone's at the door. I apologize about that, guys. But that's kind of one of those features. So as you see, the 22 is probably something you should add to your portfolio due to the fact how easy it is to get a hold of, how easy anybody in the family can shoot, and how you could extend your day at the range without spending a ton of money. Shooting is not cheap. Shooting is expensive, and you got to make sure you get the best out of it you can. So adding a 22 to your portfolio is probably not a bad solution for you. Question for you guys is, what 22 do you have if you do? And tell me, when's the last time you shot a 22 pistol or anything else like that? And we will back out of this and get to the comments and stuff like that. Okay, get out full screen. Let's hit that comment. All right. Okay. All right. So that was a pretty good one there. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for the PowerPoint. We appreciate that very much. Hope you guys are having a great night tonight. Can you give me some who's on the call this evening? We've got some. If you're on the call, you can always respond. We are live tonight on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. So we appreciate you guys being here. 22 is one of those things I would highly recommend you pick up and get for yourself, because adding it to your portfolio is one of those beautiful things. Let's see who's up there. Miss Tasha. Tasha's mom's on the live. We appreciate you, Mama. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Larry, appreciate you always being here. Pete, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you there. Uh, uh, the pickleball people, we appreciate that. Natasha's making fun of the portfolio thing I said. That's kind of funny. Pete, we appreciate that. So you have no other comments tonight, and we appreciate it very much. We're about 37 minutes into this thing, and I think we're going to call it an evening after 37 minutes, because it is one of those days where I've been working all day and I'm kind of tired. So if you don't have anything else to say, we appreciate it very much. God bless you guys. I want to give you applause for being here. You guys are being loyal to us. We appreciate it very much. You guys are so important to me. Doing these lives for you because I want to make sure that we have the ability to keep educating you guys. We started this thing many months ago, trying to educate, motivate, and entertain, and I hope we're doing that for you. We built all these. We just we just redid our back in the back there. We've actually taken. We had our whole camera system on a cart in the back. And if you haven't been to our shop before, we have a kind of a small shop. We have 5 lanes back there. We're a training facility. We're not really wouldn't consider us a gun range as much as a training facility, but we offer gun range time every day for our students and things like that. So we've actually attached a lot of these things up. So when we're doing these videos now, it's just walking in, pushing a couple buttons, and we're ready to rock and roll. Having to set everything up is always a pain. So that's why we did the set behind us here. This is the back wall of my office. You don't want to see on that side of the office, but this side of the office doesn't look so bad. And we have our safes here. As far as uh, we got stuff coming. I don't know if you've heard to see or seen it, but we actually started a new series, a video series, and we call it Watch Me Work. Watch Me Work. And it's a video series of us behind the scenes, over my shoulder kind of deal, watching in a little sneak peek of all of the video, all the training classes that we're doing. Now, of course, we ask permission from the customer. But we did one today on a try before you buy. You have an opportunity to watch that video. We would truly appreciate it. And then it's a little behind the scenes kind of deal of me teaching a student, and maybe you getting something out of it, and maybe sharing it to a friend or a family member. Talking about sharing a friend or family, we would appreciate you very much if you would give us some thumbs up there. Let your friends and family know about our company, about our YouTube channel, about our Facebook page, and just about our company. We would love to have you come down and see us. We would love to have you share our information. We are so fortunate to have you guys. All right. So let's go back up one more time. Say goodbye to everybody. We appreciate you all being on all, on this live every day. We appreciate it very much. Natasha, Larry, Pete, uh, the Naples people. I don't know why I can't say that word. Propaganda and pickleball. Oh, I think I just did it. Propaganda. Yeah, and pickleball. Okay. Miss Natasha, portfolio. That's a big word there. Pete, we're glad you're here, buddy. Miss Johnson's on the call. Oh, what's up? She said no. What's no? Pickleball. 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 Yep. I take no offense of it. Well, thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Perfect. There you go. Why? What did I say last week? I think it said Papa Granick. Papa Granite. But we appreciate that. Oh, perfect. Thank you guys very much. We're glad you're here every week. I hope we're entertaining for you. We're definitely entertaining for you. I'm not sure. Sometimes I worry about the education stuff, but you have an opportunity to check out that brace thing. Check out all of our video drops. We would appreciate you giving us the thumbs up. You have an opportunity there, as well as subscribe, like, and comment, and hit that bell icon. And every time we upload a video, you'll be the first to know. Until next time, guys, I'm going to play the music, get us out of here. I love you guys, and good night. All right, let me give you a round of applause because you are my best. I'm going to send you out with a nice little kiss and maybe a little bit of giggles. And give us that gunshot. Good night, guys. I love you.